Hello of you. The lesson today, I'm going to tell you how to write advantage and disadvantage essays. This is one of the very common type of essays in IELTS writing and also in many English examination. First, I'm going to give you an overview of advantage disadvantage essays. In terms of writing style, you should use the formal writing style, discussing the advantages and disadvantages of an issue. In the introduction paragraph, you present the topic and you present advantages and disadvantages in the body paragraph. But remember that in the body paragraph, you should begin with a topic sentence. The topic sentence is a sentence which introduces the theme of the paragraph. And remember, each of the main points should be supported with justifications and example. Now, when you write the concluding paragraph, please remember to summarize the main points that you already discussed. And also, you can write your opinions. I'm going to give you the detail and the techniques of developing an essay and also the paragraph in a few minutes. Now, please have a look at the sample task for advantage disadvantage essay. I'd like to invite Phương Dung. Can you say aloud the sample task that I show here?
You should spend about 40 minutes on this tag. Email has had a huge impact on professional and social communication, but this impact has been negative as well as positive. Due to the disadvantage of using email outweigh the advantage using you pass example and knowledge to support your point by at least 250 words.
Okay, if you look at this writing task, you can see the very first sentence is the instruction telling us about the time allocation for the task. And then they give you the topic and the context. For example, here you write about emails in professional and social communication. The question is, do the advantages of using email outweigh the disadvantage? This question implies a discussion about the two aspects of using email in professional and social communication. And at the end of the writing task, you can see the requirement and also the length that you need to follow. And now please have a look at the sample essay for this topic. Now can you tell me how many paragraphs are there? Duy Tân, please.
There's 4 paragraphs.
Okay. What you write in the first paragraph? Okay, Tân, give answer.
In the first paragraph, we introduce the way we communicate through email.
What is written in the second paragraph and the third paragraph?
In the second and the third paragraph, we describe the advantage and disadvantage of writing essays.
But what is special about the body paragraph? Okay, you can see, yes, we discuss both, but it's important for you to remember to discuss separately. So we should spend 1 or 2 paragraphs discussing one aspect, for example, discussing the advantage, and the other paragraph should be devoted to discussing the disadvantage, and do not mix advantage and disadvantage in one paragraph. Okay. What technique did you think is used in the concluding paragraph? Ethan, keep answering.
The technique of using in the including paragraph is to uh, um, to conclude both advantage and disadvantage, then yeah, raise your opinion.
Now I'd like to tell you to remember something. Okay, if you look at the introduction and you look at the very first sentence, you can see the writer address topic directly. They write the use of email. So they mention the keywords for the topic directly. And in the thesis statement, you can see the writer say the effect of email has been positive. This implies advantage, although there are certainly a number of advantages. Okay, so you can see in the thesis statement, you should mention almost all the main points that you're going to discuss in the body paragraph. And in the final paragraph, the concluding paragraph, you can see here they use the technique of summarizing the main point. Here you can see, in conclusion, what there are many obvious drawbacks to using email. So they use the word drawback to have the reader, to remind the reader that one part of this essay is about the drawbacks, about the negative effects of using email. And if you look at the word, this fast and user-friendly technology has improved our ability to communicate both professionally and socially. You can see they use the word fast and user-friendly technology. Here are the key terms that summarize the main advantages of using mail. Okay, so I have told you that when you want to write an effective concluding paragraph, you should summarize the main point. And finally, if you look at the words, I believe that email had brought us more benefit than disadvantage. This phrase indicates the opinion, the final comment, and it also have to answer the question whether the advantages or disadvantages outweigh the other. Okay, now we are going to look at in detail how to write the introductory paragraph. Here are some techniques for you to write a good introduction. Usually sentence 1 and 2, you can write a reference to a situation related to the topic. This is one technique. Another technique, you can use it to address the reader directly. And you can use a quotation that is suitable for the topic. In the last sentence of the you should state the thesis, write the thesis statement clearly. And if you are not sure about how to write the thesis statement, please learn it more carefully. It is said that the thesis statement is one of the most important sentences in an essay. So please study and apply the technique for thesis statement effectively in your writing. Now, I'm going to tell you something about the body paragraphs. When we discuss both advantages and disadvantages, you should spend 1 or 2 paragraphs discussing the advantage. And remember, don't be a list. For example, you should not say advantage 1, blah, 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 advantage 2, blah, 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 advantage 3. This is not a list of advantages, but for each advantage, you should give justification and support your idea with example. And you do the same for paragraph about the negative effects or the disadvantage. Okay, so for each of the main point, you should give justification and also illustrate with example. Usually, a good body paragraph should contain 2 or 3 arguments with 2 or 3 examples. So make sure you have example in the body paragraph. The concluding paragraph, you should give your opinion or give a balanced summary of the topic. Many of you are not sure how to write the final comment, so I'm going to give you some technique. The final comment, you can say your personal opinion, or you can give the reader something to consider, or sometimes you can use a suitable quotation. And the slide I'm showing you now can be very useful because it helps you to write very quickly and successfully. To introduce advantage, you can use the first advantage of, and you can use some adjective like the main, most important advantage of, or you can say one point of view in favor of blah blah blah. If you want to give the second or additional discussion of advantage, you can say another advantage, an additional benefit of. And please pay attention, we have a lot of synonyms, so don't use advantage all the time. You can say one point of view in favor of, or you can say benefit. Here's one example. Sorry. Now I'd like Nguyên Phương, can you look at the example and read aloud?
Yes, one advantage of using emails is that this technology is a fast and easy way to communicate with family, friends, and work colleagues.
Yes, thank you. Please pay attention to control the length of your writing. Usually the topic sentence in a paragraph, you should write between 20 words to 25 words. Don't write choppy sentences, short sentences, but do not write too long sentences. And remember to mention one main point in the topic sentence. Okay, so you can have a look and study the example. To introduce disadvantage, you can use some words such as disadvantages, of course, or drawback. Sometimes you can use the other expression, negative effect of, and you should begin each of the paragraph or discussion with a suitable transition signal or conjunction, such as another or an additional with a noun phrase. Sometimes you can use the phrase one point against or one argument against. This also indicates disadvantage. So you should vary the use of vocabulary to make your writing sound good. Okay, so I remind you not to keep using advantage, advantage, or disadvantage, disadvantage. We have to use a lot of alternative expression. Here you can use drawback, negative effect, argument against. Okay, for example, this example also tell the reader about one negative effect of using emails. Other like Minh Khang to say aloud the example.
The main drawback of email in the workplace is that employees might do extra work and experience more stress.
Thank you. And I have told you, every good writer use illustration or sporting detail and a very common techniques to support your main idea is to use examples. First example, okay, here you should learn three useful and impression or transition signal to have the reader know that you're going to illustrate your point with example. Back to our topic about the advantage and disadvantage of using email. You can use this one and you indicate your illustration with the word for example. Now practice speaking. I need please say aloud the example.
Okay. For example, when employees receive more messages than they can answer every day, and because email writers expect a quick response, email-related jobs tend to increase pressure at work.
Okay, we say pressure at work.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, before we move on, I'd like you to use the fashion. And when you use this fashion, of course, you need to think of practical and the common example. If you do not use one, you may write too much of your own opinion and personal opinion, and your writing is not persuasive. Another way for you to explain or to the justification is to express reason. So you can use therefore as a result for this reason. You can use some word like as or since with a clause. Phương Uyên, say aloud the example, please.
Yeah, the use of email is very convenient, quick, and cheap. As a result, email is very widely used in social communication and at workplace.
Thank you. To show contrast, yes, this fashion help you to transition between discussing one aspect to the other opposing aspect. you can use on the one hand. On the other hand, sometimes you can use however or nonetheless, or although or even though with a clause. Of course, you can use despite or in spite of. And if you want to use clause, you can say in spite of the fact that. We have another example illustrating the use of words or expression for contrast. Quỳnh Nga, say that example.
Yeah. Although there are some drawbacks to using email, this fast and user-friendly technology has greatly improved our ability to communicate both professionally and socially.
Okay, very good. Thank you. In order to signal the concluding paragraph, you can use in conclusion or to conclude, to summarize or in summaries, to sum up. Okay, so we have so many useful expression for conclusion. Minh Sang, say the example again for the concluding paragraph.
Yeah. In conclusion, while there are many obvious drawbacks to using email, this fast and user-friendly technology has greatly improved our ability to communicate both professionally and socially. Therefore, I believe that email has brought us many more benefits than disadvantages.
Thank you. If you look at this example, you can see some word that is highlighted in color. Usually the transition signal in my presentation is colored in blue, while the keyword for the essay type, advantage or disadvantages, is colored in red. And we use typical expression for opinion. We can say, in my opinion, I believe that, or I strongly believe that. They help you to read the final comment and finish your writing. Now, please pay attention to the writing assignment. Quỳnh Nga, can you turn on your mic and can you read the writing assignment for our class?
Users spend about 40 minutes on this task. Write essays on the advantages, disadvantages of the internet. Use specific examples and or reasons to support your discussion. Your writing should be at least 250 words in length.
Thank you. So please remember to complete this writing for our class. And in the next meeting, I'm going to help you to correct this writing. Thank you. And I hope that you find this lecture useful.